have with me Michael Chaney.
How are you doing, sir?
Good. Great to see you.
Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it. This garden has really taken off.
Well, we're hopeful. Every day and every raindrop is one step closer to what we see our vision for a healthier community. You know, this green. We call this our town square, and that we want this to be a place of celebration, a place of growth, a place of community development.
In interviewing the other folks around here, and much like myself, after talking with you, they all kind of get hooked into the Karamu Garden and the sense of community it brings. Do you think it's been adding that value to this area?
Well, I think not only this garden, but all of the gardens that we are working with, of which we're working about probably 25 this year. And so all on key strategic locations. Project Sweetie Pie, of which I'm one of the founders, growth is really I see it as kind of like a public awareness campaign. You know, in communities, low-income communities where people really haven't had access to land, access to resources, we're trying to change what we say, planting the seeds of change. We're trying to turn communities that have historically been socially engineered to be consumers, we're trying to get them to be developers.
So tell me about Project Sweetie Pie. There are some people that are talking about that, and it's a positive effect with the kids that you're working with. Could you expand on that a little bit?
Well, 5 years ago when North High was under attack, there were those people who felt that North High, the school, should be closed, and myself and others, we felt that to kill a school is the killing the heart of any community. And so we rushed forward to try to stop that, change that, and with the help of many people from this community who raised their head and said, hey, no, we want this school, we need this school is the heart of our community. And with that, we approached them and asked them. They had a green room that had been fallow for 10 years, and we asked them if we could get you to start growing if we could get the kids to start growing sweet potatoes, could we use your green room as a incubator or place? So that was the inspiration. January 2010, first year we had 5 gardens, 50 partners. Second year we had 10 gardens, 75 partners. Third year we had 25 gardens and 130 partners. So, we keep on developing. Last year we were one of 5 projects around the nation to work with Miracle-Gro. And this is the fruits of our labor.
Now, the people, this is a communal garden.
Communal garden.
Could you explain that to me?
Well, from our perspective, community gardens really aren't any real different. We've got people who are landowners, homeowners, who, are reserving their backyard for their beautiful, luscious little yards, and for, and then they go beyond that because they don't want to tear up their precious lawns. They go out and they get more land, and they use that land then to grow their vegetables. So it becomes really just another extension of themselves and their land access. As a social justice organization, we feel that all people should have access. All people should be involved. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get people who historically are renters and aren't involved, we're trying to get them involved in growing.
Well, I applaud your efforts here, Michael, and what you're doing, and the future and the impact that you're having on people and people's lives here. And I think it's been quite a testament that this garden is flourishing and the community around it. Would you have anything you'd like to add for today?
Well, we worked very hard this past winter in trying to get a bill passed over at the legislation. House File 153 and 179, and what it means is that in populations of 50,000 or more, land be set aside for urban farming. And we also we're trying to get some funds so that residents could have something for demonstration. And so unfortunately, it got bogged down in the legislation, and they kind of watered it down as often is the case. But we're still, it will be the first of its kind legislation mentioning urban farming and trying to carve out a little swath for farmers in the ag bill. So anyway, we're continuing to move forward on that.
I'm glad, yes, and Catherine mentioned a few things about that, so I'm glad that would have an impact on what's happening here.
Well, then
Karamu.
those funds could be then set aside to do what we're doing here today. You know, projects like this one need resources, right, to help grow it. So that's what we're hopeful for. The other thing is that we're trying to acquire a greenhouse on Dowling and Humboldt. And with that, we want to start an urban farm campus, and we want to make this flourish. If we're going to continue to grow this, we've got to grow the infrastructure. We've got to grow the visibility. We've got to let people realize that gardening is not just an avocation, but it is a pathway to success, a pathway to training, a pathway to human development.
I think, and this event today was planned as a celebration, correct?
Yeah, this is kind of a season greeting. You know, it's more than just Christmas time. You know, we're just trying to get people involved in the green movement, and this is how we do it, by bringing them out, letting them see. You know, here we've got people planting, we've got face painting, we've got pony rides. You know, we're really just trying to get people to realize that, you know, so we like to say at Project Sweetie Pie, we're growing good in the neighborhood. Good food, good schools, good youth and families.
That sounds great. Again, thank you, Michael.
Thank
I'll
you
talk
for
to you
all
more.
your support.
With me.
My name is Carl Hawkinson.
And Carl, you work with the University Extension Service, and you were telling me some of the work you're doing here at Karamu. Could you explain that to our audience?
Sure. I'm with University of Minnesota Extension, Hennepin County, and I work in agriculture production systems. And my connection here through Project Sweetie Pie and the Hennepin County Green Partners Program, we are working on the compost aspect of the community gardens here in North Minneapolis. We have our program, we called our project Green with Envy. And as you know, as you may know, they're starting the curbside organic recycling in Minneapolis. Yes. And we're using that as an opportunity to educate people not only that they could now do curbside recycling, but perhaps be better off to save those nutrients, work with our project to bring compost to community gardens. And we have what we call our compost captains, individuals interested in different community gardens throughout North Minneapolis who are, we have trained, and they are training themselves how to do compost, and then also work with some youth to go around the immediate neighborhood and educate the neighborhood about the garden and composting, and if they would be interested in taking their organics to the compost piles, so the compost captains can make nutrients for the gardens.
Now, that sounds a big project in the inner city here. Yeah. And so that idea of composting, is that new to this area?
Well, I'm not sure. Of course, composting is as old as agriculture, but I think to a lot of city folks of all income brackets and all locations and all neighborhoods, gardening and composting and all these related subjects are something that has been lost, perhaps. And composting, a lot of people that are involved in the gardens are becoming more and more familiar, but this idea that your garbage is wealth is one thing we're trying to get across. Soil is not dirt, and your leftover nutrients should stay here in the neighborhood instead of being trucked all over the place. And so we get the compost systems working here. We can fertilize these gardens a lot more completely without purchasing inputs. So there's some economic aspect to it as well.
Much like the organic farmers and what they're doing and how they manage their fields. Yeah. I think that idea of using the nutrients that are available for this garden and other garden projects around the city is rather unique or new in my mind. But what has been the acceptance of this so far?
Well, we have some really excited and interested compost captains. Some of them have been gardeners, some have not. But people are becoming interested in one way or another about food, and the more they look into that and figure out what they're eating, they become interested in gardening. And so it has a lot of benefits for the community, bringing people together like today, and getting a taste of fresh food in somebody's mouth, especially the young people.
TV with Asian Media Access.
And T, we were talking earlier, and what is your program?
We have a bicultural active living lifestyle initiative that we're trying to move forward in the North Side.
And how many people are involved in that program?
We have several of our families, but also all our staff that are involved.
And you're reaching out to the general community on this north side. And could you explain why you decided to do that?
Well, it's one of our grant initiatives, number one. Number two, we feel like we love the North Side, number one, and we want to promote healthy living in so many different facets. And it's such a rich cultural heritage here in the North Side. So we're looking at encouraging people to do cultural exercise, to eat healthy, and to cook in their native the way their native country cooks, and also to do things like go to the gardening and garden and grow your own food and nourish your body, nourish your spirit in a healthy fashion.
Well, that's excellent. I hope you achieve your goals. Now, in supporting Karamu Garden, what do you think of this project?
I think it's a wonderful project. Now, being a baby gardener myself, I'm learning a lot. Now, Michael Chaney has encouraged all of us to do gardening, to do composting and things like that. So I see myself as a baby gardener. And so this I'm learning. I'm just learning. And so to be able to come to events like this and to grow yourself is wonderful.
Well, thank you very much for coming on, and I hope to catch a little bit more of you later working. You've brought some plants? Is that what you've done?
No, I'm actually going to be at the table handing out information about Asian Media Access and our ball initiative.
Well, thank you so much again. We'll talk to you later.
Yes. So I'm a registered dietitian at North Point Health and Wellness Center, and I'm here today doing a cooking demo, making fresh garden salsa with tomatoes, peppers, onions, fresh garlic, black beans, corn. So we'll be making that this morning.
And we're doing this interview before she makes it, but I'm going to be testing it, quality control later. So how did you get involved with the Karamu?
Through North Point, as a registered dietitian, promoting healthy foods and encouraging people to eat more fruits and vegetables. You know, a garden is a great way to encourage people to eat more of those fruits and vegetables and for a healthy lifestyle.
And fun. Salsa is fun.
Yes.
Yep. So are you using organic ingredients and other things with that?
Not necessarily organic.
Okay.
But just fresh produce. And also, talking about the nutrients found, vitamins and minerals found in the fresh produce that help prevent diseases and encourage long-term healthy lifestyles.
So you're eating healthy is good for you.
Yes.
So eating your vegetables is good for you.
Yes. Yep.
And so that's what you're promoting. And are there other things other types of foods that you're going to prepare, for other projects or other times?
Yep. So I've prepared a variety of other foods, whether it's banana pancake, so talking about how to incorporate fruit into other foods that we're already eating, or I've also made fruit smoothies or other different types of smoothies as well.
Oh. So chocolate chips and pancakes is something that... Can I get you on camera and say yes, that's okay?
Well, everything in moderation.
Thank you for that. Christy, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
I have with me Katherine of Project Sweetie Pie, and you're working with Karamu Garden and a vast number of other organizations. What is your job description?
Oh, well, I wear many hats. Officially, I am the treasurer for Project Sweetie Pie. And with other organizations, I am a community representative or a business representative. Okay, so I work with a number of organizations, but primarily with Project Sweetie Pie. And right now, we've got a large event going on with the Karamu Garden.
And this project has been, I've been following Michael for a couple of years. We chatted, and we'll let Al get by there. This project has been going on for a number of years. Is that correct?
Yes, it has. It started out with a grant we received from Miracle Grow, and that was through the Council of Mayors. We were recommended by R.T. Ryback and then carried forward with Honorable Mayor Betsy Hodges. So it's a 3-year grant, $40,000. We were the only organization above the Mason-Dixon line, and it's part of Miracle Grow's national program to have gardens all over the nation. So we're pretty proud of the fact that we were the only one. We designated the Karamu Garden as our primary location for that particular grant, and that's why we've been having a number of events here to increase community awareness about healthy eating, hopefully address some of the health disparities that we have in the African American neighborhoods. So it's part of the overall vision for Project Sweetie Pie and specifically for our area here on the north side. So we're pretty proud of that.
Well, I've been impressed. I do work with some farmers kind of up about 20 minutes from here that have the organic farms and all that. And I was very, very impressed when I was talking with Michael and meeting you and others with the garden. This is quite a community project.
It is, and that's the primary focus of Project Sweetie Pie, is to have community engagement. I mean, we can do a lot of things individually, but as a group, we are unstoppable. And what we want to encourage the community to do is come and join us, or start other organizations on your own, or just get the whole neighborhood, the whole community involved. And we think that's the only way to improve economic development here and also address some of the health issues. So we have a pretty broad brush of some of the things that we do. We're involved politically. We've got some urban agriculture legislation pending. And those words have never appeared in legislation anywhere in the country, so it will be landmark legislation. We're working with the Department of Agriculture. We're looking to acquire a greenhouse. We'd like to see an entire food processing system here in North Minneapolis and give us a level of independence and also a level of pride for our community.
Those are some pretty big projects and
we've
ideas.
Got big shoes to fill here. Michael is a visionary. He's got a lot of amazing ideas, and he's got the personality to encourage and prompt people to carry forth on those initiatives and ideas.
You know, I just realized we could stand here for a day and talk about Michael and initiatives, but we're not going to do that. So I'm going to ask you two little questions. Okay,
sure.
One is what is the status of the urban bill?
Right now it's held up because, not specifically because of us, but because of the governor's overall concerns about the budget. So we're talking special sessions, things like that. So we're hoping with the special session that I just heard about earlier this morning that the ag bill will move forward, and our legislation is included in that. Now, whether or not it looks the same as the way we put it in, that's part of the political process. But at least we will know that there's been some movement, some action on it. And keep in mind that Representative Rod Hamilton had tried to push something close to this a number of years ago and was unsuccessful. So he's been a staunch supporter of what we're doing. Kudos to Representative Karen Clark, Senator Haig. So those individuals have been incredibly supportive. They know it's going to not only impact the urban areas, but also the outer portion of Minnesota. So they've been very supportive of us, and we're hoping that the legislation will move forward in the way it looks now.
That's excellent. I did film with Representative Clark earlier on the bill, and it was very. I thought it was very interesting in many ways. But it was the first farming bill in the country. Is that
landmark legislation? What we're asking for is that in populations of 50,000 or more, that land would be set aside for urban agriculture. And also, along with that, there would be funding for demonstration projects. So whether you're an individual or an organization, there would be funding available so that you can move forward with some of the urban agriculture initiatives.
Thank you for that. And I'll be contacting Representative Clark, I think, next week. But now, how do you describe Michael Chaney, Project Sweetie Pie, in just a couple of minutes?
Actually... Let's see. I would say Johnny Appleseed, the Energizer Bunny, the Visionary. Let's see. There's so many adjectives and some not available for prime time that we would use to describe Michael, but his commitment to the community is unchallenged. So, regardless of any of the other concerns, Michael works for the community. He lives and breathes for it. He is tireless in his efforts. He doesn't get paid for it. So, that's how I would describe Michael.
So Project Sweetie Pie, and I'll be talking with several people later, students, I guess I call them. How has that affected their lives?
We've had folks who, some young people who started out years ago with Project Sweetie Pie who graduated from high school and now are taking agriculture-related courses at the university. We work in daycare centers where kids are excited about playing in the dirt and finding worms and growing things and seeing the results of
worms.
Yeah, with the little boys, they love it. I mean, it's an amazing thing. So it's had a wonderful impact. Not only that, but one other thing. We've got young boys who pass by and see us working in the garden and they want to join in. So that to us is just amazing. Unfortunately, jobs are scarce, but when they see what we're doing, they want to join in. And hopefully we'll find a way to make sure they get paid for it. But they've been amazing, and we've impacted the neighborhood. There are a number of individuals that I can call out specifically, and then there are communities where we may not be able to call them out specifically, but we've seen the subtle impact of our efforts. This is a communal garden, which means you can come and pick whatever you want. Whether you grew it or anything, you can come and get what you need. So this is open to all. We want to make sure people have access. And the community, surrounding community has been so incredibly supportive. They watch over the garden. We're teaching them how to harvest. I mean, some of them need a little instruction about how to do that, so we're not hurting the plants. But other than that, it's been a wonderful experience.
I think that my summary of it, and when I became aware of the Karamu and film last year, some things with Michael, I think gardens bring people together.
They absolutely do. And there's something cathartic about playing in the dirt. I mean, there have been scientific studies that show that there's fumes, I'll say for the layperson, who come from the dirt that have a soothing effect on people. So working in the garden, it's a euphoric kind of thing. And that's what we need in North Minneapolis. Calm down a little bit. And it's been effective in that way as well.
I want to thank you so much for your time,
Thank you. Thank you.
With me.
Tony Wilcox, Executive Director of Freedom Academy Charter School. We're opening in August.
And Tony, we were just chatting about your program, and could you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, we are going to be located 2 blocks north of Broadway on Girard, 2201 Girard, with our first day of school on August 10th for kindergarten through 3rd grade. We are an extended day program, which students will be with us from 8 to 5 every day, and extended year, so they'll be in school from August 10th through June 29th.
Wow. So this is a project charter school that you're just starting, and how is that to get the funding and setting that up?
Well, it's a very complicated process, and there's a lot of scrutiny to make sure that you're developing a school for the right reasons. And for us, that's benefiting the children of North Minneapolis, our neighborhood kids who need another option that will help them really succeed, not just in school, but in life. So.
And how is your program different from the standard?
Well, one of the things is that we are going to be an extended day program, so a lot of what other schools have cut back on or feel they're restricted from doing because of the having to do the standardized tests, we're still going to have, because we'll have time to do a full hour of lunch and recess every day, to have physical education and the arts in our programming every day, and still do a lot of work on literacy and vocabulary that we know children need to be successful.
So you're just becoming more involved or aware of the Karamu Garden project?
That's correct. This is our second event that we've participated in, basically with the impetus of Project Sweetie Pie, because I personally believe, and our school philosophy is that gardening and production of food is a very important way and a very engaging way to teach children about science. There are a whole bunch of science standards that you can encourage kids to learn through gardening, and then on the other end, they have the benefit of highly nutritious food right here in their own community.
Well, the boys just get to play in the dirt, right?
Uh, you may call it playing in the dirt, but we call it biology or soil science or learning about the water cycle. And what's most fun about that is it is fun, and the kids learn without even realizing that they're doing hard work.
Thank you. I see this garden as I became aware of it as a community garden. And do you sense any value to this type of a garden?
Oh, absolutely. And I saw this just a couple weeks ago at another garden that we were at up on Penn, and it's called Grow on Penn. Kids who came to our table mostly out of curiosity and because we were giving away little bubbles, when we encouraged them to go work side by side with adults to actually plant in the garden, we couldn't pull them away. They kind of lost interest of what toys you might have to give away or what food truck was there. They were really excited to not just work with their hands, but to be in partnership with adults as equals in the garden.
Yes, and that's stood out for me here is the older generation working with younger kids, and they're getting involved, and they have a whole different take or outlook on who they are.
Absolutely, and for a lot of the adult gardeners who come by, it's new for them too. So I think that's always exciting, especially for elementary age kids, to realize, hey, I'm as credible a learner and as much an agent over my life as the adult standing next to me, and it ignites them.
Excellent. Now, we were talking, and I'm going to use the term food desert, because we were talking about nutritional issues, perhaps, with children in this area and other inner city locations. Could you tell me about that a little bit?
Sure. As a school leader, I'm particularly concerned about it because we're participating in the federal school lunch program, and there are lots of nutritional guidelines that are proven to be great for kids, but then you get complaints from parents and kids and teachers as well, but the kids won't eat it. And research says, and my own experience says, that kids don't eat it because it's unfamiliar to them. They've grown up basically addicted to salt, fat, and sugar, and then when it's not in their school lunch, they turn their nose up at it, and it takes presenting things as many as 14 times before kids starts looking at it like, ooh, what's that, and starts to think, oh, I really do like broccoli, or I really do like these tomatoes that were grown in the garden that I helped tend.
So I wish you well with your new school project, and is there anything else you could think of to say or add?
Yes, if you're looking for a great school for your kindergarten through third grader, we're opening on August 10th, and we still have seats open in all grades.